Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rechak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who were well. Peace and mercy to the Tazadak Akim out there that's laboring this truth with all sincerity. I'm the brother Tamayim, back at it again with another lesson. Going into, they despise the poor man's wisdom, as well as, wisdom, having the wisdom of these scriptures, is important. Okay. And the scriptures speak about how, the foolishness, the wisdom of this world is foolishness to the Most High. And you can read that in 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, the 19th verse. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me just get that real quick. Start the video off like that. Go with different scriptures. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So the wisdom of this world is foolishness to the Most High. So what are several examples? Those, who may have master degrees, PhDs in law, computer science, computer programming, engineering, all those things could be cool because they can help you obtain, a decent job, a decent salary. You can make a decent living with those degrees and majors, under your belt. But all those things are considered foolishness to the Most High. If you don't have the true wisdom of these scriptures and the true understanding, the knowledge of these holy scriptures, you're considered to be foolish, because at the end of the day, those degrees, are not going to save you, because the scriptures speak about how riches don't profit in the day of the Lord's wrath. So whatever you have that's, valuable in those, that you obtain is not going to save you. All right. The scriptures speak about how wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. So those who have the wisdom of these scriptures is going to keep them stable in a time of, Jacob's trouble, which is fastly approaching. Okay. So going to Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter. All right. I'm going to go straight to the point that I want. Yep, this is it right here. Wisdom, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 19. Wisdom strengthened the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city. So, matter of fact, let me get another precept to even back that, and I'm going to read it in NOT. Okay. I think it's this is Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 15. I'm going to read it in King James and I'll read it in NOT as well. It reads, Ecclesiastes 9 and 15. Now there was found in it matter of fact, I'm going to start from 14. Matter of fact, 13. So Ecclesiastes 9 and 13. This wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. Verse 14, there was a little city and few men within it, and there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. It says, now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that same poor man. And that's heavy. So by this poor man, all right, this poor wise man, which we know this wise man, he had the wisdom of the scriptures. And yet it said by his wisdom, he delivered the city. All right. But no one remembers that poor man, because when you're poor, people look down on you. People look at you like, like you're nothing. And that's how they look at the prophets now. You know, they call us snow dummies. They mock at us. They scoff at us, and that's what you usually do. With the poor. You see Jake. Record the poor. Just making a mockery out of the poor. They brag about it in their music. You see it on social media. But since this man was a poor man, all right, he was despised. The scriptures speak about how, the prophets are going to be despised in the city. All right. So verse 16, it says, "Then I said, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard." So that's heavy. It says wisdom is better than strength. All right. And that's what going back into Ecclesiastes 7th chapter when it says, it's better those who was, matter of fact, let me get it again, just to precept it so I won't butcher the scriptures. So Ecclesiastes 7 verse 19, it says, "Wisdom strengthened the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city." So if you read it in the NOT, it says one wise person is stronger than 10 leading citizens of a town. All right. So that's how important, wisdom is. Okay. It doesn't matter how strong you are. And matter of fact, it's a scripture too. And the Lord doesn't have pleasure in a horse's legs. Let me see if I could get it. I know it's in Yep. This is Psalms. This is Psalms 147 verse 10. "He delighteth not in the strength of the horse. He taketh not pleasure in the legs of a man." All right, so that's the Lord. He's not dealing with those athletes and those boxers, those quote unquote mighty people, or those men of renown. And today, quote unquote. All right, the Lord is dealing with those who are lowly, and who have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. All right, because like I mentioned before, your wisdom is going to keep you stable in the time of trouble, not your strength, not your physical strength. Because at the end of the day, the Lord, you could put upon you, the spiritual powers as the scriptures speak about. Okay, He could give you all the strength at that particular time. You might be a brother who don't work out, or never did a push-up before, just using an example. But in those times, the Lord could, easily give you that strength because you have the wisdom of these scriptures and you have the faith. Okay? Because the Lord is dealing with those who have a contrite spirit, those who are humble, those who are lowly, and and that represents the poor. Not saying, the poor doesn't always, represent, a brother, a person that's just living on the street. People get that confused. You could still be a working man and still be considered poor. All right. Going back into Ecclesiastes chapter 9. All right. And we are poor, compared to the elites, compared to Esau. He has the fatness of the earth. You don't see Jake out here with, even if you do see Jake with some type of wealth, they don't have, the power, because when you rich, you have power along with your riches. Okay, so we consider to be poor in the society because even if you have a house, a paid off house, you can still lose your house, if you don't pay your property taxes. You always, the scriptures speak about how you have to go to you're going to go to the enemy for the want of all things. Okay. So going back to Ecclesiastes 9, let me, in fact, go right here. Ecclesiastes 9, verse 16. So it says, Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised. So let's go into the word despised. All right. The word despise is to disdain, worthless. So the poor man's wisdom is considered to be worthless, all right, to the people, okay? And they are not heard. All right, now I was reading in NOT. It says, so even though wisdom is better than strength, those who are wise will be despised if they are poor. What they say will not be appreciated for long. Whew, that's heavy. So let's go with verse 17. The words of wise men are heard in quiet more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. So I was reading NOT. Better to hear the quiet words of a wise person than the shouts of a foolish king. Whew, that's heavy. Verse 18. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. So wisdom is better than weapons of war. Okay? Because the Lord is, dealing with those who are spiritual. The scriptures speak about the weapons of our warfare is spiritual and not carnal. Okay? So let's get the one last precept. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 13. I'm gonna start from verse 20. As the proud hate humility, so doeth the rich abhor the poor. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends. So and you could apply that to to your life. Once you might have, once you up and things are going smooth for you. Things is operating how they're supposed to operate and financially, that's when everyone's around you. But, once soon as you lose some money, man, that's when everyone walks away from you. Okay. But when a rich man begins to fall, everyone tries to hold them up because they're looking at it like, okay, it's opportunity in that, So if this guy he bounces back, I know you could probably offer me a job or, offer me a position or, things of that nature. So verse 22, when a rich man is fallen, he have many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. Yeah, and this is so funny because even when Jake come up, to the camps and you might have a slip of the tongue, they own you. Oh no, what, but let a rich man do that. They let it, they let it pass. They give him the pass. Okay, like it says when a rich man is falling, he have many helpers. All right, it says, and yet it says, he spake wisely and could not have no place. Verse 23 is the point. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. And look what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. And this is a perfect example. I remember a couple years back, a thing that was going on. They was asking Jake or people around just, oh, would you take $500,000 or have a dinner with Jay-Z? A lot of Jake said they would have the dinner with Jay-Z. Why? Because he's a rich man, and they feel like the information that he could provide to them is more than 500. Is worth more than actually $500,000, which is complete madness. Even when a lot of Jake follows these different financial people, which a lot of these financial people who speak, how to get wealth, they all say the same thing, in the same context. They just word it different. But, they'll buy their books. They just super invest into these people, man, buy their programs, which is nothing wrong with, buying, some of these people's programs, but they just hold their words to the clouds. And he could be speaking, nothing but foolishness. Just in general, other than finance. A rich man could speak anything, about food. They're going to extol his word to the clouds. Anything. All right. And he could be saying a bunch of bullshit. But since he's a rich person, since he has wealth, they hold their tongue and they extol his words to the clouds. They have his, they hold his word with such high regard. All right. Let's continue on. It says, but if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. And this is exactly the point. We're considered the prophets to be poor. And that's what they do. They despise us. They mock at us. All right. And they will try to, help overthrow us at the end. If we stumble, they're going to try to bury you, because they despise, at the end of the day, the wisdom of the Lord. They despise the wisdom of these scriptures. Okay. But with that, Lord, when it was just edifying, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And with that, shalom.